welcome to QI, where tonight we're obsessed with films and fame. Parading their false modesty down the red carpet tonight are the very famous David Mitchell, the fantastically glamorous John Sessions, and hell's teeth, it's only Emma Thompson. Who's that bloke getting out of the car behind her? No, not him, the one behind him. You know, the curly hair. The one off the telly. Who is he? It's Alan Davis! So it is! And tonight our buzzers have come over all cinematic. David goes... Emma goes... John goes...
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
And Alan goes...
That's all, folks.
And so it's lights, camera, and action as we roll out the first question. Now, you're all very good at what you do, but what is this picture trying to tell you?
Show business.
Oh, Johnny got there first, yes.
It's painted by Man Ray of Ingres Odalisque, and it's known as the Violon d'Ingres, because it's a kind of a pun. But the Violon d'Ingres is actually more than a hobby, because the famous French painter, Ingres, was a brilliant violinist. So it's like a very, very hotly pursued hobby, a Violon d'Ingres.
Well, what you've done is here you've saved us a lot of time by being completely and 100% right in every particular. That's very good, yeah. It's a photograph, because it's a photograph of a real model, Kiki of Montparnasse, who was a favourite model of a lot of the surrealist artists.
Yeah.
And this is a painting by Ingres, the neoclassicist French painter, who died in...
1864.
Are you going to be like this all the way through?
You're absolutely right. This is a very complicated point we have to get across. The French have a phrase, which is Ingres violin, which means somebody who does something they're not famous for, but does it almost as well, i.e. they have a whole other side, a whole other string to their bow. And in the case of Ingres, it was that he was a very talented violinist, as well as a great painter. And so to a question about a man who definitely has one more string to his bow. How would you like to have Cedric Gibbons nude on your mantelpiece?
It's not Stanley Gibbons, the philatelist.
No! He's a Hollywood figure, remarkable Hollywood figure, Cedric Gibbons. He was the premier art director stroke production designer of Hollywood for MGM. And in 1928, he was asked to design something. What might that have been? No.
The Oscar.
Thank you. The Oscar. And not only did he design it, he won 11 of them. He was nominated for 36 and won 11. Almost all Oscars, as you know, were won by Walt Disney, who won how many?
109.
26.
20, yeah.
And Cedric Gibbons won 11, and all the rest went to Emma Thompson. Oh, look, she is.
Lovely winning smile.
Do you remember which one that was? Sense and Sensibility or Howard's Way?
Howard's End. Howard's Way.
And then he said Howard's Way.
That interesting boat script I wrote.
But you were nominated for 3 others.
Yes.
Do you remember what they were?
Remains
of the Day, In the Name of the Father.
Best Supporting Actress. And you were also nominated for Sense and Sensibility as Best Supporting Actress.
I forgot.
I can remember all the GCSEs I did. I would definitely remember every Oscar nomination. I think when, like, the rest of my brain had melted and I fed through a tube, those 5 names of films would still come out.
The best film one year was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Do you know what? They altered the Oscar to some extent.
They made him a midget.
They made him one big one and 7 little ones.
I mean, it must have been a grim year, because that is a boring cartoon.
I made an Oscar. I actually made a genuine Oscar. I went to the factory in Chicago where they were made.
Is it a mould, like a jelly mould?
Well, there is a mould, but it's pure metal, Britannium.
You have to hew it.
When you buff it,
If you have
a damn good buffing.
If you have to hew it, I mean, I'm not being rude, but if I was winning an Oscar this year, I'd say, can I have one of the ones made by the professional? That one, Stephen Fry pulls that.
I was well supervised.
Oh,
to be honest, I did a bit of buffing.
Right.
On the bum area.
And then dipping.
bet.
You bad. You very bad man. Yes, a little bit of... a good buttock flossing. And dipping him in nickel and then in that gold. It's very...
So you didn't really...
No,
I mean, it's like the Queen pulling a pint.
Basically. That's more or less what it was like. Thank you so much. So, who was the best actor in your year? You were best actress.
Al Pacino.
And your other Oscar, of course, was for best adapted screenplay for
Yeah.
Sense and Sensibility. I should have won that Oscar, as a matter of fact.
Actually, yes, you should.
Yeah.
You rescued it.
Yeah.
Yes, I had one of those steam-powered computers, and the screen had done something to the script. It had transmogrified into hieroglyphs, into just... not words, not anything that I could recognise, just funny shapes. I got the bloke round, the computer bloke round, and he couldn't work it out, so finally I took the computer out of the wall, still in my dressing gown, got in a taxi, went with the computer round to Stephen's house, sat it down and said, please, find my script. And I did it like that because I'm an actress. I don't ever ask people if I'm upset, I make sure people know it. And he said, oh, OK, but it took him 7 hours. And you was with you at the time.
Advantages in being a nerd.
Probably what really happened was he couldn't do it. And he thought, oh shit, well, I can't
better
let on.
quickly write one.
I'll just write it. It's much quicker if I just adapt the novel.
And I looked at it and thought, you know, I'd forgotten, obviously, because my brain doesn't hold any information for any length of time at all. I just looked at it and thought, that must be my script, and I handed it in.
Yep.
I'll send the Oscar round tomorrow.
Thank you.